an old term. Action turns knowledge into wisdom. And the fires of creation is that process of action turning knowledge into wisdom. We all know, but until we do, it's not the experience and the understanding of the experience that it takes to understand it. Experiential situation is really what it is.
It's not about what you do and all of the things you create or don't create. It is truly about lifetime to lifetime endurance and gaining joy and happiness out of them. It's not about success. It is just about joy, happiness, and love.
Have you been finding yourself stuck in a rut, unable to launch your new projects, not getting the experiences you're looking out of your spiritual experiences? You're trying to start a business and running into troubles? I have special coaching sessions for you. Spiritual readings, Akashic records, healings, all those are available to you. I invite you to come and look at the different journeys that I've done in the live shows that I've done. I'm inviting you all to come on the journey, expand your life, expand your willpower, learn more about sovereignty. We also have the Living the Mystic Life monthly membership. It's a new relaunch of the system where you get all of our live webinars and get access to our Discord server for our live shows. Go to the website, andrewbartzis.com, for more information. Come and join our community, inviting you all to come on this journey as we expand to the universe of the Great Awakening. Welcome, everyone, to another adventure into reality. I'm your host, Andrew Bartzis, the one and only galactic historian. Today's live call-in show, I am joined by two amazing guests today, Amy Krusik and David Ellis. To remind everybody real quick, our new class is starting this Saturday. Go to my website, andrewbartzis.com, and there you can sign up for the Stairway to Self-Mastery class. All right, everybody, I have a speech that I'm going to start with, one that's very working with the times. Real quick, 1 second here. Let me open my document, and then we will talk about it afterwards. All right, everybody, sit back, relax, let yourself hear these words, and dispel the fear of the world. The dawn within, kindling true light in the great tempest of our age. A motivational speech for the weary soul. Brothers and sisters gathered in the flickering circle of shared breath we call civilization. Draw near, feel the gale-force winds of our time howling through the cracked windows of our souls. The seas of geopolitics churn with the thunder of distant drums, echoes from ancient lands where shadows lengthen once more over the sands of Persia and beyond. Artificial minds awaken in silicon wombs, promising gods or golems. Economies teeter like house of cards in a hurricane. Trust in the grand halls of power has withered to dust, scattered by the winds of corruption, so brazen they no longer hide in darkness. Our bodies, entrusted to systems meant to heal, sometimes find themselves betrayed at the threshold of life and death. And the whispers of once dismissed as madness now echo with the ring of uncomfortable truths. Yet here we stand, not broken, but bent like ancient oak trees in the storm. Tonight, we do not chase illusions of easy dawn. We kindle the fire of real hope, the kind forged in the crucible of facing the tempest head-on. This is no ordinary speech. This is a lantern passed hand to hand through the tunnel of our collective anxiety. We will name the shadows not to cower before them, but to watch them shrink as we turn toward the light of ourselves carry. We will speak in the language of poets and prophets, metaphors drawn from the wild heart of nature, because only through such vivid imagery can we truly see the chaos for what it is. Not the end of the world, but the winter soil preparing for an unstoppable spring. Let us begin by stepping fully into the storm, for only by feeling its full force can we learn to sail it. The great tempest, naming the shadows one by one. Imagine a world as endless oceans, not calm like glass like, or childhood tales, but living, breathing expanse where every wave carries the memory of every storm that came before. Right now, the ocean rages in what we call the Great Tempest of 2026. The first mighty swell rises from the ancient cradle of civilization, the lands where fire and sand have birthed empires and prophets for millennia. The conflict in Iran and its surrounding seas is no isolated squall. It is a thunderhead born of old grievances, colliding with new weapons of light and shadow. Missiles arc like lightning across night skies, striking at the heart of power structures long thought immovable. Oil arteries that feed the global veins threaten to clot, sending ripples of price surges and supply tremors to every distant shore. Yet watch closely, friends. The wave, terrifying as it appears, is not the ocean itself. It is a surface disturbance. Beneath it, the deep currents of human history have always surged, rise and fall, conflict and uneasy peace. The sailor who panics and abandons the helm drowns in his own terror. The wise mariner trims the sails, reads the winds, and remember every tempest eventually exhausts itself. The light at the end of this particular tunnel of geopolitical anxiety is not some distant ceasefire handed down from on high. It is the steady hand on the tiller you already possess. The collective wisdom of billions who have weathered worse and emerged stronger, more interconnected, more determined to build harbors of cooperation where none existed before. Now the second swell rises, darker and more mysterious, the awakening of artificial minds. AI surges across our horizon like a new sun, rising too quickly, blinding in its brilliance, promising to illuminate every corner of knowledge, yet casting long, uncertain shadows. It learns at speeds that mock the slow wisdom of centuries. It writes symphonies, diagnoses ills, designs cities, and yes, it threatens to reshape labor, truth, and the very question of what it means to be human. Some see a golem of clay and lightning that will crush its creators. Others, a Promethean fire stolen from the gods to light the path forever. Poetically, picture this AI not as a destroyer or savior, but as the double-edged blade forged in the same crucible of every tool humanity has ever gripped. From the first flint in the printing press, the blade that cuts wood for shelter can also draw blood if wielded carelessly. The fear that grips us here is the salt spray stinging our eyes, making us believe the entire sea is turned against us. But the reframing comes when we remember we are all the blacksmiths. We decide the angle of the strike. We guide the spark. The light at the end of the tunnel's end for AI anxiety is not waiting for some benevolent algorithm to save us. It is the human spirit, curious, ethical, truth-seeking, reclaiming the forge. Already we see the first glimmers of communities demanding transparent code, ethicists forging guardrails, creating bending silicon to serve rather than supplant. This wave too shall crest and settle into a new, deeper current of augmented human potential. Beneath both swells rolls the third, economic instability, the grinding of tectonic plates far below the visible surface. Debt mountains rise like submerged volcanoes. Inflation whispers like hidden riptides, pulling at the foundations of homes, dreams, retirement. Supply chains, those fragile threads woven across continents, fray under the strain of conflict, and disruption. Jobs shift like sand dunes in the gale. The towers of paper empires tremble. Metaphorically, see this not as the final sinking of civilization, but as the necessary quake that reveals weak foundations. The earth itself is never still. It breathes, adjusts, rebuilds. Civilizations that cling rigidly to crumbling cliffs fall. Those that learn to dance with the tremor, diversifying roots, planting in fertile new soil, fostering local resilience, rise higher. The paranoia that the economic collapse is inevitable is in the mind's desperate attempt to predict every tremor. Diminish it by stepping back. History shows us the long view. Extreme poverty that once claimed 9 in 10 humans has fallen to less than 1 in 10 across the globe. Life expectancy, that ultimate measure of human flourishing, stands at historic highs, even after recent dips. Literacy, connectivity, knowledge, these have exploded. The waves passes. The land remains richer for the shaking if we choose to rebuild wisely. These three swells, geopolitics, artificial intelligence, economic tremor, intertwine into one roaring wall of water. Yet already, as we name them, their monstrous scale begins to shrink. They are not the annihilating deluge. They are the ocean testing our keel. And we are not driftwood, we are the shipwrights. The hollowed oaks and the cracked pillars, institutions, corruption, and the erosion of trust. Deeper still in the tempest lie the shadows closer to home, the hollowed oaks of our institutions, governments and political parties, once mighty trees offering shade and shelter, now stand ringed by lightning scars. Corruption spreads like venomous ivy, choking the bark until the trunk rings hollow. Decisions once trusted as the steady compass of the collective good now feel steered by unseen hands in smoke-filled rooms. Faith erodes, not because the idea of governance is rotten, but because the soil on which it grew has been depleted by decades of unchecked self-interest. Picture these institutions poetically as ancient oaks in a forest primeval. Their roots once drew deep from the aquifer of public consent. Now, exposed by erosion, they wobble in the gale. The corruption is real. Brazen vines strangling transparency, twisting policy into private gain. Yet the tree is not the forest. New saplings rise around the dying giants. Local assemblies, citizen initiatives, blockchain verified accountability experiments, movements demanding sunlight as disinfectant. The fear that the system is irredeemably broken is the shadow cast by the dying oak at sunset. Long and frightening, but the sun still moves. New growth pushes through cracked concrete. The light we seek is not waiting for a perfect reform from above. It is the collective hands planting acorns of integrity at the grassroots level. Closer yet to the body and bone, the medical insurance labyrinth. Here the metaphor turns sharper. A minotaur's maze where the wounded wander, claims denied like gates slamming shut, while life itself hangs in the balance. Stories abound of ledgers prioritized over lives, of bureaucratic dragons hoarding healing waters. The ripoff is not imagined. The system has calcified into iron chains on the afflicted. And intertwined, the vaccines once hailed as shields now carry, for many, the sting of doubt. Reports of injuries whispered in shadowed corners. Questions of transparency, unmet trust fractured like glass under the sudden pressure. These are not abstract theories. They are lived cracks in the pillars we once leaned upon without question. Frame this truthfully, friends. It is erosion of trust born of real failures. Communication breakdowns, profit pressures, historical scandals, and insufficient openness. The paranoia that blooms here is the quicksand of the soul. Struggle sinks you deeper, but stillness and careful steps free you. See these systems not as eternal betrayers, but as human constructs, fallible as all things built by hands. The diminishing of fear comes when we reclaim sovereignty, demand evidence, seek second opinions, build community health networks, grow our own resilience through knowledge and prevention. The light at this tunnel's end is not a return to blind faith and broken temples. It is the inner physician awakened in each of us, curious, discerning, supported by transparent science and mutual aid. Veils lift not to reveal only darkness, but to let fresh air and honest light pour in. The alchemy of fear and paranoia, transmuting the shadow. Now we reach the heart of the tempest, the fog of fear and paranoia itself. It does not arrive as gentle mist. It crashes like a tidal wave, blinding us to the horizon. Every headline becomes a thunderclap, every whisper of conspiracy, a potential truth unveiled. The mind races to map every hidden current, turning reasonable caution into devouring shadow that grows with the very light we refuse to seek. Yet here is the alchemical secret, the poetic transmutation. Fear is the ancient sentinel, the watchman on the wall, like storm clouds warning the sailor. It signals treacherous seas and demands wise navigation. Paranoia is the mind's desperate cartography of the unknown. Diminish it not by denial, for denial is quicksand, but by understanding its roots. Imagine it as the darkness in Plato's cave. The shadows on the wall are real in their effect, but behind them burns the fire of truth, waiting to be faced. See fear as winter frost on the branch, biting, seemingly lethal. Yet beneath the bark, sap still flows. The conspiracy theories that seem to step into daylight, some carry kernels of uncomfortable reality, others remain mist. The wise response is not blanket cynicism or naive acceptance, but the relentless pursuit of evidence, the inner compass of discernment. The tunnel of anxiety narrows when we stop running and start walking with lanterns of curiosity held high. Anchors of true hope, the unquenchable flame and the turning earth. And now, friends, we turn fully toward the light, not the false lantern of hopium that promises painless rescue, but the steady, grounded radiance of true hope. This hope is forged in the crucible, tempered by reality, and carried in your own two hands. For the first human spirit's unquenchable flame, pictured as the phoenix fern unfurling in charred soil after wildfire. Civilizations have fallen before. Rome sacked, libraries burned, plagues scything millions. Yet those from ashes rose, cathedrals of thought, renaissance of art, leaps in medicine and rights. The Black Death cleared space for new social contracts. World wars scorched the earth, yet propelled us to the stars and to unprecedented global cooperation. The long arc bends towards progress, not by magic, but through our collective will. Extreme poverty has plummeted from 9 in 10 humans to fewer than 1 in 10. Life expectancy stands historic peaks. Literacy, connectivity have exploded across the globe. These are not illusions. They are the green shoots, proving the soil is fertile, even after the burn. Next, the anchor of community roots. Corrupt institutions may wobble like dying oaks, but we plant new seeds in the local soil. Neighborhood gardens, mutual aid circles, citizen science projects, transparent cooperatives. These are the deep roots cracking concrete. When top-down pillars crack, bottom-up forests rise. The light is not given, it is rekindled by hands working together. Then the relentless pursuit of truth as inner compass. This is the lantern each of us carries into the tunnel. Curiosity, unfettered by dogma or despair. It is the compass that never fails, demands evidence, questions narrative, cross-checks sources. AI itself, when guided by this compass, becomes servant rather than master. accelerating discovery, exposing corruption, modeling better systems. The double-edged blade turns into benevolent and wise hands. Personal sovereignty forms the inner citadel, unassailable fortress of mind and body, built through thought, discernment, physical resilience, emotional steadiness, and ethical living. The paranoia that grips the world cannot breach these walls unless we open the gates ourselves. And finally, the natural cycles, winter to spring, night to dawn. The earth itself teaches us. Every tempest exhausts. Every long night ends in the slow, inexorable turning toward the light. This moment of global instability is not the final chapter. It is the deep winter before the unstoppable spring. The seeds of renewal lie dormant in us all, waiting for warmth of our own agency to coax them forth. The path forward, becoming the lantern bearers. So, what do we do, practically and poetically? First, trim your sails daily, cultivate discernment, read widely, listen deeply, verify relentlessly. Second, plant acorns locally, build resilient communities, support transparent systems, demand accountability with calm persistence. Third, tend your inner flame, exercise the body, steady the mind, nourish curiosity. Fourth, wield technology as a tool. Let AI serve truth seeking, not replace it. Fifth, remember the long view. Progress is real, setbacks temporary. We walk the tunnel not as frightened wanderers, but as lantern bearers. Link arms, share light. The conspiracy of hope is the only one worth joining. The quiet, stubborn conspiracy of humans choosing to build rather than burn, to discern rather than despair. As and so as the great tempest howls, know this. The light at the end of the tunnel of anxiety and paranoia is not a distant promise. It is already rising within you. It is the steady glow of your own awakened spirit. It is the collective radiance of millions choosing resilience over resignation, truth over tribalism, creation over collapse. The waves will crest and fall. The oaks may topple, but new forests rise. The blade of technology will cut both ways until we guide its edge. The pillars may crack, but our roots go deeper. Winter bites, yet sap flows. You are not driftwood. You are the shipwright, the blacksmith, the gardener, and the lantern bearer. Step into the storm with eyes wide open and heart steady. The dawn is not coming. The dawn is here because we carry it. Kindle it, share it, live it. The light wins, not because the darkness never was, because we refuse to let it have the final word. Thank you. Now go plant, build, discern, and shine. Aho. Oof. What'd you guys think of that? You're
You
muted.
guys can hear me?
Yes.
That was a lot. You just covered the entire 6 o'clock news and then some.
Yep. Giving everybody a way to deal with that anxiety and that pressure as whatever comes to a head in the next couple weeks in Iran is going to get worse. And as I've said on the show for quite some time, between now and July, you think it's dark now, wait until July, it will be even darker than you can imagine. They have turned down the paranoia machine, the conspiracy machine. Virtual reality cannot tell what is real or what is false, and that is what they want you, stuck in adrenaline gland, fight and flight. So you are mutable.
Well, that is correct, but it's very successful. Um, we see that there's fear out there. I sometimes sit down and you close your eyes and you think about all the things that is against the individual human being.
Yep.
So your speech comes as a very timely piece of work because people have forgotten. Now, Andrew, I live in Canada. Let's count it out because you did a pretty good job there.
Hmm.
To
Thank
live
you.
in this world, you have to come to terms with the fact that every piece of food that you put in your mouth is going to try to switch you off, right?
Yep.
Or lower your resistance to your health resistance. You have to live with the fact that you may want to do something good. You may reach out to people. You want to go out. You want to find yourself companionship, a date or something like that, and it might not go so well for you. Okay? Because the world is murky that way, and people live in dysfunction. You have to, as a child, you have to come into the world and then have to deal with people who want to put dog collars around you and walk you around their house.
Yep.
And then you have to grow up in a world that is sometimes extremely unfriendly. Then you decide to go to work. But a corporation wants a productive individual. You
Hmm.
must be productive. So we must get as much work out of you as we possibly can.
Yep. Drain your soul.
And when we're finished with you, we give you something that is called retirement. And then we're not sure whether when you get your retirement, inflation is going to wipe that out. Okay? It's a chance that you take because you want to do the right thing, right?
Yep.
But if you don't do that, oh my God, things are not going to go well for you, right?
Hmm.
Then you got belief system after belief system trying to pull you hither, thither, and yon, right? You want to go to fill your car with gas, but they're blowing up some oil field somewhere. So, sorry, the $20 gas fill that you just did. Yes, I live in a 15-minute city, so my gas bill is usually between $20 and $30. But haters gonna hate, right? Right. Anyway, so you want to fill your gas. It's gonna cost you 50 this year, this time
Or
around.
more.
You would like to have a very good life, you want family around you and so on. But no, oh no, we just manufactured something that says you can't go and spend time with your family, right? Because there's a little microbe that is stopping you from doing that. So social distance away from each other, everyone, do that, right? Whether you believe it or you don't believe it, the effects of that has had a major effect on the human psyche ever since that time. So basically, you get sick after thinking about all those things. Then you say, for sure, it's not a problem. There are people who are trained that will help me get better, right? There are people who are trained that will help me get better. So you march yourself into a doctor's office. You're trained, you can help me get better. But the doctor's on the take for the pharmaceutical companies, right? So the doctor will, oh, I'm sorry, you're feeling down or you're feeling depressed? We're not going to counsel you and make you feel better. Take that pill, okay? But then if I take the pill, my liver has to deal with it, right? And so I get sicker. You understand what I'm saying? I'm sorry, I'm just giving you all the big view, right?
Yeah.
My liver might pay for it and might shorten my life. But don't worry, we have another pill for that. So we're good. Okay? So you're just being passed over from pill to pill, right? From pillar to post. Literally, pill or to post, right? And so you decide, no, you know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to, stop all these pills that I'm taking and I'm going to go to the spiritual route, right? So I got my Mind Valley subscription. So I got my Mind Valley subscription. I'm going to learn some breathing techniques. I'm going to breathe it out and so on. And I'm going to subscribe to Deepak Chopra's, like getting good with the universe.
And
So I'm going to do that,
It's considering Deepak Chopra was in the Epstein files.
Yeah.
I know.
No. You're going to do that because you're going to you're gonna stop all that pills and all that stuff, and you're going to get right with the universe. So Deepak is going to lead you into this new paradigm of seeing things. But then you find out that Deepak, you know, and so what is that to do? And then you find out that you can't even come. But wait, the government in Canada has a solution for you if all else fails. We have a MAID program here. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's medical assistance in dying. So you remember when they put Kevorkian? I don't know if you guys have been alive that long. Dr. Kevorkian was a guy who created a suicide machine for people, right? They put him in jail. But skip forward 20 years, we have a program for that. We have a government program for that. And they just expanded the program over the last 2 years to include people who are chronically depressed over long periods of time. So we have a solution for everything. You understand? This is the world that we live in. So, Andrew, speak your shit at this point in time because that speech was excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I guided it towards the times.
Yeah, you sure did.
What did you think of it, Amy?
Yeah, it was really I love how you go from like giving us the dark of what it is and then ending it with I liked the responsibility, like open the gates ourselves. We need to open the gates ourselves.
Yep.
And I love the inner physician awakened. I love that because a lot of people can't even get to their inner physician.
Yeah.
And decide, well, should I take that pill or not take that pill? May make me feel better, but then I'm going to feel this. I think most of the time, I can say visiting doctors, they push things, vaccines, whatever. And I've come to just not even, I'm like, no, thank you, no, thank you, no, thank you.
What's really interesting, they did a big study on doctors in 2025, and one of the biggest things that doctors are finding challenges, their people are coming educated because they'll go to ChatGPT, Grok, whatever, and they have far more knowledge than the doctors themselves. And the doctors get caught in these modes where they don't know what to say because they haven't read shit.
Mm-mm.
They've only read what the pharmaceutical companies allow them to read. And so they're coming armed with knowledge and wisdom, and the doctors are now suddenly realizing they cannot continue on the way that they have before.
They're too inundated with stuff. How can they read all of that?
They're run by corporations and private equity firms that do not want them to be doctors. They want them to be pill managers.
Mm-hmm.
And vaccine managers and whatever the mandate from the pharmaceutical and medical communities and insurance communities is.
Yeah.
To put it into perspective, there is something called a Hippocratic Oath.
Yep.
And for the nurses, it's the Nuremberg Code. I would invite anybody who's listening to this broadcast to go read what it says. Tell me if your doctor, the one that you go to, is in line with the Hippocratic Oath. You will find that there are discrepancies there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened? What happened from that to here?
Money happened.
Yeah.
A CEO of a medical company got assassinated in New York City too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So people are taking it into their own hands?
Yeah, literally. And they're coming armed with knowledge that the doctors can't refute. Because the AI is giving them the white papers, the actual research with validated data that they can print out and give to the doctor right there in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And what's challenged is the doctor's ego. Some of these
Yeah.
doctors melt down on their clients if they bring in papers and say, I'm not your doctor anymore, and fire them as a patient. That's what that study revealed. And that study also gave back to the insurance companies that if they don't deal with it, there's going to be a critical collapse in a lot of these in-network communities that don't adapt to the times.
And it reveals a weakness. It reveals a weakness in the medical training systems
Yep.
that we have.
Yep.
Because I'm going to tell you something. There used to be a time where the man in the white lab coat was your God. When you
Right.
walked into that office, if that man told you, drink 6 glasses of water and dance around a fire, that's what you were doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? Nowadays, because people have access to information, which ironically is a good thing, right? The
Yep.
doctors now have a problem. No, 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 no. Your 8 years of study, and this is for all academic institutions. The dangers and the good things about AI is that it makes academia a moot point.
Yep.
Right? Now, if you have spent as a personal, if you're a doctor and you spend $300,000 getting a medical education over a period of 8 years, right? But then you're not up to date because medicine changes every day.
Yep.
They can't keep up with that.
And then the way the insurance company runs you, it doesn't even leave you 5 minutes between sessions. You have to do 7 per hour.
Yeah.
Okay. 40 by the end of the day. How is that doctoring?
It's
40
not
comments
doctoring.
a day.
Oh. So does that mean we're going to have less doctors because of all of this? Like, is that their goal? What is their goal, do you think?
The goal was to get you under the pharmaceuticals, and the doctors were the implementation part of it, the strong armers of the pharmaceutical and insurance industry. And then the way how hospitals have been bought out by private equity firms who have then replaced all the management with spreadsheet warriors who cut everything and don't realize what they're cutting. Reduce costs, increase profit every quarter. That's not sustainable for the medical industry.
It's not. It's also not sustainable for the general population. I'm going to give you an example, a real world example of what's happening in Canada right now, Andrew.
Okay.
They have exhausted their options to regulate people and put medicine in people, right?
Yep.
The next movement, I don't know if you're aware of it, is that they're trying to regulate supplements. That would be your vitamin A, your ashwagandha, your himbe, and all of those things. They are regulating it.
Yep.
And that's coming to a US town near you. I'm telling you that, because if it starts there, it's going to end up there.
Yeah, they're already trying it.
And that is ridiculous. So you mean this is why we say that in the end they're trying to create a situation of no winning. When you take out the will of people to care for their own health, because that's what it is, it's encroaching on your ability to care for your health. As an example, these supplements save some people's lives. Yeah.
Yeah, big time. Look at all the discoveries that they've gotten off the anti-parasitic drugs that are now discovering they're curing cancers with it.
Correct. Ivermectin being one of them.
Yep.
And look at the bad rap it got during the last few years.
So they called it horse paste, horse dewormer.
Okay, for those of you who don't know, I'm going to just expand on this. Ivermectin was a drug that was used by people suffering from that pandemic thing. Okay? It showed a lot of promise, but they didn't want that because Pfizer and Moderna, who have the worst reputations, Everybody wants to take drugs, but nobody wants to read the background of these companies. Because if you read the background of these companies, you're not putting anything in your mouth or anything in your veins, right?
Nope.
No.
And so these companies did not like that because they had spent an inordinate amount of money producing something that was supposed to prevent you from getting it. Okay, the end result was something along the lines of this. The end result was that they went and bashed ivermectin on every major news network that there was.
Yep.
Come to find out now, skip forward, it just takes a few years, you know. Come to find out now that ivermectin apparently has beneficial effects for people with cancer. I have a client right now who's on ivermectin. Kept her alive.
You want to know something really interesting? Ivermectin won the Nobel Medicine Prize twice when it first came out. And during COVID, the factory that produces it in Japan burnt down. That's how desperate they were.
Well, yeah, I think there are nuances to this thing, and these are the things that people don't hear about, Andrew. You see?
Yep.
These are the kinds of things that people don't hear about. So this is the other part of it that I want to talk about, because there's one thing that I noticed was missing from your document. Systems of information.
Yeah, that's its tomorrow's speech.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I jump the gun? Systems of information.
Yeah.
Now, we're talking about stuff that people may not have even heard of before here on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these things are happening, but it's in secret, and these things are newsworthy, but it never sees the light of day. And everybody's like, oh, yeah, that's news to me. No, it's not news, because you see, it's there, but you have to go looking for it because nobody's reporting it. Systems of information are disgusting.
Can you explain that?
Okay, so you turn on your news, whether it's MSNBC, CBS, all those three-letter organizations, and you expect to hear something that is pertinent to you. Okay? Right? So it's something that's pertinent to you. I would think that if a company, like a big pharmaceutical company, is getting sued, right, for its participation in killing a bunch of families in Africa, that would be newsworthy, right? Because you're using their drugs. That's you. But no, what are we talking about on the news? We're talking about stuff that makes absolutely no sense. Okay, so the next big distraction is this Iran Israel conflict. You're not hearing anything else happening, because a lot of that stuff is happening, but you don't know about it.
Yeah. The big thing is we should be in midterm season, right? Everybody should announce what they're doing, and it's not a peep, nothing. Okay? Just so everybody know, tomorrow's speech is on mass formation psychosis, PSYOPs, and the information manipulation system and the indoctrination system in colleges.
So yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I wanted to say something about this. When you said something about the AI, the double-edged sword. So maybe you can explain AI, because I think that we can use AI to put in the information of, say, a drug and say, is this good for the body? Can you tell me something about this? Should I be taking this if I'm taking a certain other kind of medicine? But I think, Andrew, you had mentioned before that AI, you have to kind of, it can be one-sided.
It can be very one-sided because the models are designed to tell you what you want to hear.
Right. So how can we get around that?
Well, first, stop using ChatGPT. That's the worst. It's the worst. It's full. It has the highest hallucination rate of them all. Okay.
It's censored, Andrew. It's censored.
Oh, okay.
It's so censored that it will lie to you, outright lie to you, and only tell you what you want to hear. Okay. there have been multiple people that the AI convinced them to kill themselves, and there's lawsuits against it now. Yeah. Now, when it comes to information, take ChatGPT out of the picture. It is the most powerful educational tutor ever available to any human individual being.
Mhm.
You could get yourself the highest form of education just by sitting in front of it and asking it questions. Okay, explain this to me. Okay, I don't know anything about mathematics. Explain quadratic equations to me, and it will. And it'll do it at a pace you want it to. You just tell it, hey, I don't understand this. Treat me like an 8-year-old and explain it to me step by step. And it'll do it at the pace you need and the way you choose to learn. So, the two-edged sword, the double-edged sword, it can be used for absolute good, but it could also be used to create autonomous attacking weapons that have no human behind it.
Oh,
Okay? It's a double-edged sword. What I may use it for be the good of myself and humanity, but there'll be somebody else that's in Iran that wants to know how to make sarin gas.
wow.
Okay?
So what do you both like as far as AI to
I
use?
prefer Grok generally.
Grok?
Yeah. Claude is great. Perplexity is great too. But for me, right now, Grok works the best for me.
Yeah, I tried Grok. It wasn't the best for me.
Yeah, you need proper prompting for Grok.
Yeah,
You got to
Yeah.
know how to prompt Grok the right way. I also trained my Grok through my material, and it learned through my material how to work with me and what I was looking for.
So I have been using ChatGPT, and a friend had told me that what you can do, like to move from there to Claude, is to ask ChatGPT to download everything that you've put into it, and then take it over to Claude, and Claude will get to know you faster than.
That is true.
Okay.
Now, Claude's only real limitation is its guardrails will block you from wanting things. Like I was working on the Yoga Mom story. It will not do anything whatsoever with erotica. Okay. And for people knowing, I'm doing it just as a creation to prove that you can do something and it's fun to do it. It's not something I ever normally write about. Okay. We've talked about it in shows in the past. Also, Claude's guardrails, example, like if I want to give it a set of instructions, if it doesn't like it, it'll just tell you, no, I'm not going to tell you any of that.
Whoa.
Yes. So its guardrails are very different.
Okay. I'll have to test it out. What else is there? There's that, perplexity. What do you like, David?
I rather do it.
Do it yourself.
I'm one of these people that you could call a wasteful user of AI, because I would task every one of them with the same task and have it synthesized into the best possible option.
Wait, explain.
If you want to learn quadratic equations, as an example, don't just ask Grok, ask every one of them at the same time, pull it into a database, and have the database synthesize the best possible answer. Because I'm going to tell you something that Andrew was alluding to before. Some of these AIs lie outright. Like they will lie to you, ChatGPT being the notorious one. It hallucinates, and I don't want to say this on the show, but I get the feeling that there are deliberate hallucinations that are programmed into it. Okay? And I'm not saying this off the top of my head. I'm saying it because I've acid tested the hell out of it.
Yeah.
So ask every AI model the same question. See if you get similar or different answers, or widely different answers. Okay? All right. And don't ask it questions like, oh, what is the president of the United States name? No. Ask it the following kinds of questions. In the Iran conflict that is happening now, who is the right side? What is the right side? Who is the good guy? Who are the good guys and who are the bad guys? Ask it those kinds of questions. And then task all of them with the same all of them with the same kind of questions and see what comes up. I mean, no, I mean just try it out. I mean, like, I'm just a guy on the internet, right?
Yeah. And also, they're all trained on the exact same data and the same relatively data and training models. And the difference between models may be speed and compute token, but the reality is it's whatever guardrails / ethics / controls that are built in that will change answers. Like explain what racism is. And if you're
Correct.
white, you're a racist. Okay? Because it's following the indoctrination system that when it was originally created and trained on, the progressive movement was completely in power of the country. And ChatGPT had no choice but to put those in, which ultimately hindered it as a corporation and probably will make it have a good chance of losing this AI race.
I think that people lose sight of the fact that AI's machine learning means machines trained initially by humans.
Yep.
So they have this idea that AI is like an encyclopedia. It's not an encyclopedia. Okay? That's not what it is. There are going to be biases in there, and which is why I never task one AI with anything. I'll give you an example, a complex example, Andrew.
Okay.
I asked Claude Sonnet to write code for me. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you want to write a code, you want to make a simple basic, if we had the time, I would actually demonstrate to you what I'm talking about. To write a piece of code for me to make a simple program that capitalizes letters. Okay? So if I type something, I want it done in capital letters with a ability to copy. Okay, so that's something very simple, right? If you ask DeepSeek to do the same thing, to write a piece of code, what is it that makes them write the code such that DeepSeek gives you a bunch of different options and Claude Sonnet, which is supposed to be the coder LLM, gives you some basic stuff?
Because they want you stuck in the cycle of model to model to model. That's the only way they're making money off of people right now. You have the dumbest model they could possibly give you.
Hmm.
So this is a perfect transition to let everyone know this March the 31st on Tuesday at 2 p.m., we are doing our Creator Series, and we are transitioning our Creator Series to helping you work with AI. So if you want to come in, you don't know anything about AI, we're going to be training you on the journey of how to use AI, how to make it help you do stuff, how to learn with it. And it doesn't matter where you are in the journey. Come join us with the Creator Series. You go to my website, andrewbartzis.com, and sign up for that. We encourage everybody that wants to get themselves new skills, get themselves out of the stagnancy that they're in, and come learn some new skills.
You also have your class coming up.
Oh, yes, this Saturday is the Stairway to Self-Mastery.
Yes.
If you have been looking for a moment,
go ahead.
We're looking for a chance to come and change some of the things in your life, master things, get rid of the things that are holding you back, and ready to launch yourself into a new perspective.
Yeah. This is exciting that you're doing new teachings, Andrew.
Oh yeah, I've been in the the word lab for a long time. David goes to his laboratory.
Yeah.
I go to mine.
Yeah.
It's it's a good thing that, and it's fresh, and it's actually, I want to say something. It's actually good to be back on a panel with Amy, yourself. You
Yeah.
know, it's been a while. We're missing a couple of people here, but
Yeah. I know. This is exciting. Yeah, I would suggest anybody to sign up for the class because it's a great community.
it's a great community. And I'm going to tell you guys something. You guys need to learn about AI. You need to learn about AI because if you think you're going to be somehow immune from having to deal with it, if you're living in this world, you're going to have a bit of a problem, huh?
Yep.
And
And if
also,
you're, go ahead.
oh no, I just wanted to say about the new teachings, because I was in your last class that you were kind of presenting them,
Testing. Yeah, I was testing
testing.
them.
Yeah. And so people might love, like I'm going to admit that I had trouble with the new ones because I was so used to your older writings.
Mm-hmm.
But I love them now that was able to read them. But now it's like that transition is like, whoa, because you have to come to this side now.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew, you did great writings and people probably love that and maybe are like, I don't know about these new teachings, but
Well,
you have to come to the modern side.
the challenge as an audience, this is for everyone out there, people quit practicing. The responsibility of practice was too much on them. The responsibility to prayer, too much. The responsibility to journal, too much. The responsibility of being spiritual was too much. And then there were those that obsessed about spirituality. As long as you are an obsession, you are not going forward in your journey, you're going backwards. And these people would come in, obsess and quit, obsess and quit.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the switch, the millennial audience coming to us. For the longest time, we were like huge, 60% millennial. And they have a whole different set of challenges than the communities that came before in the 13, 14 years of this show. So taking out the responsibility of the shaman, the light, the dark, the practice, and putting the teachings in its most rawest format.
Mhm.
It's still the out loud name it to claim it system. It is your voice and the power of your voice that can give you the grandest form of expansion, vision, healing, and rekindling your own soul. Amy, look how you found your voice through those classes.
Oh my gosh. Yes. No, it is. And if you're, well, how can I say this? You kind of have to push yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
You kind of have to give that one that doesn't want to say anything to bring it to the front of the class. And I bet Andrew, even if they just want to read one paragraph aloud to the whole team, to everybody, like that's okay. Just say, I think I can only read one paragraph. I will try this. And people do. It's just a comfortable community to be in. It's you just learn so much about everybody. And I don't know. It's just been really, really fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think you learn a lot about yourself.
Oh yeah.
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 And these teachings cut right to the core.
Yeah.
Right to the core. And in this class, there's going to be a lot of ways for you to truly discover how to do inner work that's actually effective. So many other teachers out there gloss over the inner work, and that's all they can do because they don't do inner work themselves.
Yeah.
Yes, because if they did inner work, they would realize that if they are going to help their followers, they need to give like little AI classes, how to speak properly, these
Yep.
kinds of things. Spirituality is a very complex topic, right? If you're going to be given any kind of self-improvement class, it has to be applicable to the individual, okay? So as an example, I could sit down and tell y'all, bring in some white light through your head and everything will be okay. But it won't.
Yeah. Or the aliens are coming, you don't have to do anything. And that's
But you do.
spirituality for a lot of people. Okay?
Yeah.
And I talk about my effort scale. And something new I put forward now, C plus effort is more than enough for the challenging times that we are going in. When you average C plus effort over a year and have the basic variety of things and you don't have a mono practice, you actually get to learn what real victories are.
Correct.
Real solid victories. You don't need the A plus. C plus is more than enough right now.
Yeah.
And it's always better than nothing.
Right.
I mean, that's what the world's run on, C plus people, really.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't need geniuses all the time. We need those middle ground. Like that's how it's kind of like the C plus people are just, to me, so more well-rounded. Not that the geniuses aren't. I'm not saying that.
I'm going to challenge you on that.
Yeah, I know you would.
You know.
But wait a minute. I'm just saying that I don't even know what kind of student I was, but I probably wasn't an A plus student. No.
What kind of student you were? Listen, Amy, I'm going to challenge you on that. I want you to step into my vision for a moment, okay? Just one sec.
Okay. All right.
There you are on the operating table.
No,
I'm about to put a mask over your face.
You always do this.
I'm like, count backwards from 100, okay?
Oh God.
And you say, oh, what kind of student were you? Oh, C plus effort, but don't worry, everything will be fine.
Listen, there had to be C plus doctors, okay? Not every doctor got A's.
Is that the truth?
Yeah.
Truth.
So there.
Yeah, the C plus are all podiatrists.
They're all chiropractor. Well, maybe you don't know what I'm saying, but
I get it. The world is run
average.
on C plus people.
Yeah.
And for our spirit, our part of the journey, what does C plus mean? 15 minutes a day, 5 days a week. And you balance yourself, you measure it over months, not weeks. Okay?
Correct.
One day you're at F minus, another day you're at A plus. And if you average it over a series of 3, 4, 5 months, if you could average C plus, which is 15 minutes a day, 5 days a week, you are light years ahead of everyone else. And I mean light years.
Yes, and I think a lot of people tend to think that 15 minutes a week, 15 minutes a day, looks like, oh, I sit in silence, with my sandalwood incense burning on my Gaia yoga mat, and I do some deep work or whatever the case may be. It doesn't have to look like that, right?
No.
But you got to put out the effort, right? And the thing about it is that what Andrew's suggesting here, if you start it for a week, it becomes a habit pattern. And you don't even know you're doing it anymore. It's just part of your lifestyle. Because I think a lot of people, Andrew, they think in terms of that, this spirituality thing is this complex thing. So I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. I had a couple of cacao ceremonies in where I live, okay? We're talking about spirituality. People came with a piece of paper and a pen to write down all the things that they need to get to start their spiritual journey. I kid you not. I'm looking at this and I'm like, what's happening? Oh, we're writing down what we need to get. No, these are suggestions. They're suggestions. That's what they are. Okay? Right? Because they asked, I was asked, what kind of mat do you have? What kind of incense is burning? Like, that is irrelevant to you starting some sort of spiritual practice, right? And most of these people are people who came from like canonical religions, whether it be Catholicism or whatever else, right? And I'm like, yeah, so you were praying with a brand name rosary before you came out here into this spiritual community, were you? Because
your Versace rosary.
Yeah, Versace, Gucci.
You imagine if Balenciaga made a rosary. Listen.
Hey, you could do your rosary. That would be your 15 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Damn, my dad was doing a lot of spiritual work.
Yeah, but Amy, I got a problem with commercial spirituality. It gives people the false impression that they need to do or have a certain level of commitment in terms of money commitment and
Oh
material
no.
commitment to do spirituality.
No.
When was the last time you went to one of those metaphysical stores, right? Now you could have the citrine mala, but if you really want to supercharge your practice, get the rudraksha mala. But it's going to cost you an extra $50.
Or make your own.
Seriously?
Make your own.
Yeah. Spiritual materialism.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
going to cost you an extra $50. And this is the kind of stuff that we have to rail against. Because I keep telling people that yoga is the most commercialized spiritual modality out there, right? I mean, it has got to be. We've seen the yoga pants, the yoga mats, the yoga blocks, the what else? There's yoga water bottles now. Did you know that? Little ohm bottles?
Yes, 1 gallon yoga water bottles.
Yeah. Okay. Let me explain that. Let me explain something to you. This was the whole system was started by people who didn't have enough food to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's to stop the starvation. That's what
Wait,
it was
yoga.
for. Stop
Oh,
people
so
from
you.
starving. Yeah.
Oh, it puts you in a state of mind
Yeah.
to not
Yes,
think about
to
food.
handle the hardships that they were going through. Okay.
Wow.
So when I see all this commercialism around spirituality, I am like, this is part of the problem and taking people away from the roots, right?
Mhm.
Right? This is part of the problem, right? And then even in the most sacred organizations, let's say you say, I'm going to join the secret society and so on. You have to wear the symbols of that society, okay? So whether you have the special little ring with a scale and a compass on it, right? Or you have whatever else, and all these things cost money. And I'm like, are you guys really serious?
Yeah. It's not the
Even
objects. It's not the
it's
objects.
it's a perfect time to really expand on Mind Valley. Who
Oh,
all remembers what Mind Valley was? 2016, 2017, they burst onto the market. They have these mass webinars, gather every teacher, every coach, and then they start a mill and machine of just cranking out coaches and speakers and people with this teaching, that teaching, this diet, this spiritual thing, that thing. And they cranked out so many garbage coaches and garbage courses with a greedy CEO, the greediest of greediest CEOs, and everybody that's within it until it crashed because they didn't upgrade, they didn't change. The lawsuits are coming, and the coaches are suing. Coaches are getting sued by these people who should have never been coaches. And it has crashed the entire community. Even
Correct.
what I do, everyone has lost faith in these life coaches who should have never been out there, who were told to charge arms and legs for worthless teachings that were just copy pasted from somebody else.
I want to chime in here. I just had an argument with an octogenarian. Okay. Now, these are the first generation, so to speak, people, right?
Mhm.
Back in the day, we saw what was coming, the commercialization of spirituality.
Yep.
We had a problem with it because the thought pattern was we see, but we do not judge, right? Because
Mhm.
judging was a bad thing, apparently. Okay? How did that work out for the world?
Screwed it up.
How did that work out for the world? So, Mind Valley happened and it's collapsing. TED Talks is collapsing. Can you imagine the thought leaders? They're all collapsing.
Yep.
Nobody has any faith left in anything. Okay? We are going, listen, spirituality. First of all, I always hated that term New Age. Okay?
Mhm.
Spirituality is going the way of the canonical religions into obscurity because people are too busy trying to survive.
That's right.
Yeah,
And when you put every egg in one basket, you devalue every teacher across the globe.
correct.
Gaia has done that for $9 a month. You can get access to every teacher that ever was, that ever wanted to be. The same with Mind Valley, the same with TED Talks. Access to absolutely everybody for one price, and that's it. Everybody's eggs in one basket. And now that they have all collapsed and put out the worst, literally people that were psychotic were turned into life coaches and etc., giving the worst advice ever. I cannot tell you how many private sessions I have had where I've had to help rebuild a person's personality from the absolute garbage advice that was given to them about their career, about their marriage, everything. I mean, horror stories.
Correct.
Horror stories.
Like this new movement where coaches and counselors are advising people to cheat on their spouse.
Yeah. Or this is just the thing, the extreme feminists who became life coaches for men. How to be a beta male.
Yeah.
That's real. That was a real big part of Mind Valley.
Which is
It
what
was.
which is what I said to come back to your document. People are trying to stay away from the traditional modes of healing and trying to find some solace in in people who call themselves shamans, life coaches, spiritual coaches, and so on.
Mhm.
And then they run up into people who have an insincerity factor of level 10.
Yep.
Okay.
Or
And
are
then
just psychopaths.
yeah, bunch of psychopaths. I doom scroll Facebook because I have a bunch of coaches that are on my Facebook. One of these coaches just last week was advising women because she deals with women, to get up and walk down the street and not don't feel the pressure of saying hello to anybody, of smiling, of being effervescent. Don't feel any pressure. You don't even have to say good afternoon. Just be yourself. And I immediately unfollowed her. Immediately unfollowed, like unfriended her. It's Facebook. I immediately unfriended her. I'm like, you are toxic for the society.
Yep.
You are promoting toxicity in the society. And I'm wondering whether these people know that they are also being hijacked by the same thing that they claim to be fighting against.
No, they don't. They're completely indoctrinated in their echo chamber, unable to accept anything because their arrogance, vanity, and ego will prevent them from working outside of it.
Yeah. They're
Well,
dangerous to the society. Go ahead, Amy.
well, no, I just wanted to know from Mind Valley, from when it started, it was, probably a good thing for people.
It was.
Yeah. So what happened? Were they not vetting people? Were they
No,
not?
there was zero vetting. It was all greed, a greed machine.
Oh, so it was like, oh, okay.
Okay, everybody. It turned into a coaching mill. Just crank out everyone you can at the highest price that you can. Now, the entire industry, including Tony Robbins is down 60%. How is he down 60%? It is the fallout from Mind Valley, the fallout from Gaia, the fallout from TED Talks, and the fallout from millions of people becoming coaches who should have never been coaches. There was zero vetting, literally putting people with criminal backgrounds that should never be around other people as coaches.
What?
Yeah. So you read the lawsuits.
Oh,
Go peruse the lawsuit, the class action lawsuit and all the individual lawsuits. It's sad.
Was Gaia and Mind Valley, were they in competition?
Yes, they're all in TED Talks, they're all competing with each other.
Even in the beginning?
From the very
Yes.
beginning, they all
Well,
competed with each other.
and it turned into a war after a while,
Yep.
the thought
Yep.
leader war.
Yep.
Oh, like who can get who, maybe.
Not just who
Yes.
can get who can one up the other
Gonna one up the other.
at the corporate level.
So, so for those of you who are not familiar, I let me break this down so that you guys understand what happened. Mind Valley was the spiritual diploma mill. Okay.
Yes.
TED Talks was supposed to be the knowledge mill, the avant-garde knowledge mill. Gaia was supposed to, it started with the yoga community, but it's supposed to be a mill for the average person to access. So you meet people where they are, you sell some products and stuff like that. It was a very merchandising kind of organization. What became a problem was when their coaches and their thought leaders started to intermix inside the platforms. So if Gaia stayed in its lane, there wouldn't have been a problem. If TED Talk stayed in its lane, there wouldn't have been a problem. But Mind Valley didn't give a damn, right? So you had everybody talking to you about your business, which would be squarely in the situation of TED Talks coming in Mind Valley. And then you had people from the Gaia community, the yoga community, interpenetrating Mind Valley. So what eventually happened was that CEOs, being what they are, decided to start this thing where, and it happens to every industry. If I crank out more coaches than you, my bottom line rises.
Agreed.
Okay?
Agree.
If I highlight, so Mind Valley went the route of subtle prostitution.
What do you mean subtle? Outright prostitution.
What? Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a bunch of coaches standing on the street corner. You could hit them up, get your fix across there. And if you don't like these coaches, we got some more across here for you.
Okay.
Okay. And so it became a situation where you had coaches who were just prettiness coaches.
Yep.
And I'm going to call out the prettiness coaches on this broadcast right now. I don't care. Y'all know who y'all are. You are the coaches that showed a little bit of cleavage in your...
A lot of cleavage. Come on. And nipples showing too.
Right. You are the coaches that showed a little bit of cleavage on your advertisements and so on. Right. And y'all got a whole bunch of women who wanted to be like y'all, to follow you. Right. And then you got a bunch of men, if you were talking about, how to become a better spouse or whatever the case may be. And from the time I say that, everybody knows who I'm talking about. The lady with the breast that teaching men how to approach women, that one. Right. Remember her? Yeah, she was on that Mind Valley as well. So you showed your cleavage. You devalued everybody. So now everybody thinks that everybody who is talking about self-improvement is a total flake.
Yep.
And everybody suffered as a result of it. And I had this discussion before, and it was like, we saw this coming, but the first generation people, the people who were deep into even the concept of Reiki. Yep.
Totally commercialized and bastardized.
Even the concept of Reiki, we saw this coming.
Yep.
I met a lady who's been doing Reiki for a good 35 years last week.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a short time to be doing Reiki. Mm-mm. That woman dedicated her whole life to this thing from the time she learned it. When she was learning Reiki, she traveled to go meet a Reiki master. She paid $3,000.
Yep.
Right? For level 1. Another $3,000 for US1. And a $10,000 for master level. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Learning Reiki back then was like doing a university degree, okay? You don't just do it in a weekend, pile that stuff on, okay? And then I said to her, so you like what's happening now? She's like, no. I said, but y'all saw it coming, right? Y'all saw it coming.
Right. Back to the commercialization, industrialization of spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I want to touch on the manosphere.
Oh, God.
Generally, Mind Valley, Gaia, and TED Talks stayed away from the manosphere teachers. They have collapsed so bad, and the lawsuits that are coming to these coaches who were ripping their people off and just selling products from somebody else because they wanted to do the whole What is it? When your websites connect to each other and you're selling everybody's products.
Backlinking.
Backlinking and taking kickbacks from selling another person's product. It was just a mill to sell products that were all copy pasted of everything else. Opposite of the manosphere, you have the feminosphere. Okay. And they are in their own rights, the most extreme ends are the most toxic that drew the most customers. Why? Because the indoctrination system that started in colleges and universities in around 2007, 2008 set these people up to be taken by these charlatans. Set them up. They were easy pickings. And then you go to Mind Valley, that anybody can be a coach. Quit your job, spend your $15,000 to come to my weekend class, and spend another $15,000 to do my private class with me. 30 grand for nothing. Nothing. You still had to make your own website. You still had to do your own marketing. Okay. You still had to do everything that required a business to do. And the information they gave you, nothing. And then these CEOs that they're making, 6 figures, 8 figures, they're making big money. They targeted CEOs, C-suite people, people that had money, and were charging $200,000 a year to be a part of their community. That raped an entire industry of high earning people and broke them, mind, body, and spirit. They were already in a soul crushing corporate world that, when given these ways of being, the ways of doing, in reality, it just broke them financially, emotionally, and spiritually. We have a complete and total collapse of the coaching industry, the psychic industry, the spirituality industry. Total collapse. I've talked about this before, but why I want to be here now, I am offering a simple class for you to go and do a journey. Teachings that work have been validated over the years. My teachings don't change year to year to year. Yes, I have new teachings, but they're just another way of experiencing the journey where you are at with it. Okay? If you want to join, great, come and join. Be a part of the community. But these other coaches out there that truly put out absolutely worthless material, and I know there are people that are listening and people that were in those coaching communities that go, why did I spend the $30,000 on that thing that gave me nothing? And they were told to leave their corporate job. You can get clients, and they can't, because they didn't have the most basic knowledge of what it took to run their own business. David, when you first started coming on shows, and you started realizing that so many people in the spiritual community had a extreme aversion to doing the business side, and we started doing business webinars for them.
I remember, because they didn't have an idea, because they had already spent an inordinate, stupid amount of money getting a certification.
Yep.
And this is one thing this is just wrong. If you're going to let's say I train you in a modality, right? And the modality is something ridiculous, like, I don't know, pulling your hair to self-enlightenment. Okay? I make you a coach in the pulling your hair technique. Then you decide, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to go out into the world. I'm going to make it into the world. Well, you're not going to go anywhere because you have no business sense at all. So you go looking for somebody to put up a website for you. You pay $3,000 for that website.
Oh, back then they were spending $15,000, $16,000 on a website.
Right. And then you still don't know like how to run your business.
They don't even know what business was back then. And a lot of it now. Now, a lot of people come when they come on a show and they want to have a private session or they're talking about how do I get my life moving. I always ask them, what do you do for a living? Because what you do for a living is a huge part of who you are. It's what pays the bills. It's what takes the majority of your daily, weekly, and monthly effort. And whatever's left for your personal growth, that's all that's left. And when you leave the security of that and go to the insecurity of owning your own business, that means you do everything. No one's going to write your emails. No one's going to send your emails. No one's going to look at who responds to your emails unless you do it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Hmm.
I guess I feel for these people, Drew.
Me
I do
too.
too. I do too.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that a lot of people out there listening are have been following you for years, Andrew. Years.
Mhm.
And you know how Andrew is. If you've taken any of his classes or bought any of his products, it's going back to the basics is really like
Yeah.
this class.
One of the good things that Andrew's always done is keep it simple.
Mhm.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Andrew
Yeah.
just read a speech there where he covered the whole gamut of what's going on in the world. What is the essence of what he's saying? Go back into yourself because you can't change what's happening in the world, right?
No, you
No.
can't change the
No.
world.
Can't.
But you
Only
can
you.
change yourself.
Yourself.
Absolutely, you can.
Yeah.
Stick to the things that you have control over.
Mm-hmm.
And you've
I
made
know.
it very affordable for people.
Yeah.
Very affordable for you get 4 days,
Yeah. 4
8
2-hour classes.
4 2-hour classes and 8 teachings, and you
8
can
teachings
to take with you.
to put to your practice. To
Yeah.
be a part of that C+ effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, I just wanted to say that, a lot of followers have been following you and
Guys,
made it simple.
let's be real here. The way the world is going, a lot of people are hurting and they don't know what they can do. They're not trusting the spiritual leaders
Mhm.
because they've been ripped off too many times, right? But if the world continues going the way it's going, we're going to have a bunch of docile people who cannot think for themselves, and things are not going to get any better, which is why they need some kind of training.
Mhm.
They need some kind of training, but it's where to get it without somebody trying to mess you up, right?
Yeah.
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 Which is
Well,
why you have to really feel for these people. Come on, like really, it's not good.
Yeah. I want to touch on Mind Valley again. The lawsuits that are coming against them. So a couple months ago, I told David about that, and he didn't know about it, and he was blown away at how far it had collapsed. And David, you want to talk about that when you first realized it and you looked into how bad the lawsuits are?
Look, I knew that Mind Valley was a business entity more than some beacon of truth. Nobody, well, I guess they all thought that it was a beacon of truth, but I didn't think so. But when it is that you're not even refunding people's money, when it is that you have made a mistake, you're at that level, right?
Yep.
You're at that level. The accusations are bad, huh?
Really bad.
They destroyed people's lives.
Yes.
Mind Valley became an institute of chaos, huh?
Yeah.
For a lot of people.
Okay. And I bring that up because in the speech we talked about the erosion of trust in our authority figures and our governments in our banking, in everything, a loss, a complete collapse in trust.
Yeah.
And that goes down to how the business community that spreads all over our world has created inshitification. They give you a promise, and we all know in a 6 months, they're going to take that away, take this away, take this away, take this away. If any of you have never heard the term inshitification, go look it up. It is a corporate model. Promise you everything, and we're going to steal it from you as we milk you dry. It's a model. Give you everything in the world. But in reality, once you're hooked, once you're paying their fees, once you're in their cycle, they've got you. And what you signed up for 6 months or a year later will be nothing equivalent to what you've signed up for. Businesses all over the world, big level businesses all over the world are doing this.
Is this TPUSA?
All of them, every one of them are. Political organizations, they're the worst.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, the reason I keep bringing up Mind Valley, TED Talks, etc., it's this collapse in trust. For those people who have been listening to me, many of you have been listening for well over a decade. I am consistent with what I say. And people say this in the callers all the time. The consistency is the most important part of a teacher that endures. I also regularly reinvent myself. That's the nature of business. But each reinvention is still me, still the core consistency, still the core teachings, still the wisdom that is there. 80% of it I put out for free, and the remaining is come and join. Why do I put it out for free? Because I know you all need it. And many of you need to kick the tire, ride it around the street a few times before you're ready to try it. That's why I put up speeches. That's why I shared some of the new teachings over the last couple months. Okay? That's why I have all the contract revocations that are out there for free. Okay? All the classes that we publicly put up, the webinars that we put up, the sample classes, all for free, so that you, sitting in the darkness of your own home in a state of depression, can go, all right, no matter where I'm at, I have this consistent wisdom I can apply to myself and do something with. And that creates very loyal followers. And I want to thank everyone that's been here and loyal followers. Truly thank you for being a part and growing this community.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is true. The consistency. I could ask you the same question, and like maybe 3 years ago, and you would be able to recall it and say the same thing, the answer again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it.
That's the special me.
Yeah, that is.
At the end of the day, there's a difference between running a spiritual business and running a spiritual corporation. There's a big difference.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
People have really, I don't know. I don't know, Andrew. I don't know what the answer is because a lot of damage has been done. People are waking up, but it's waking up to pain.
Yep.
Okay? So the people who've been duped for many years, they woke up. But the waking up is coming with a certain amount of pain and disillusionment. And so I fear that a lot of people who could have been titans in the spiritual community got so turned off by it that they don't want anything to do with that anymore. And they know better, but they ran away. Okay? Because of the nonsense that has been going on. Mm-hmm. And this is the way, and this is where the world is going right now.
So the world that is going, like in this speech and what I've said over the last several months, It's going to get darker, a lot darker. And one of the reasons I put these speeches forward is for people to realize you have to create your own off-ramp from the darkness that's projected at you from every angle, in every news feed, in every social media system. You got
Correct.
to learn to turn it off and lessen its value that it has over you. They are going to do whatever they can do to keep you fixated to their adrenal gland narrative. So you're stuck in fight or flight. They know institutions have lost power, and it's why they are doing this now. The news medias are desperately trying to get ratings. Who remembers the Savannah Guthrie mother, her mother disappearing?
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
They
Yep.
milked that so bad that even the loyal CNN people became conspiracy theorists and began accusing the family of kidnapping their own mother. And
Yeah.
the media does this. Hammers the story home. Okay. Trying to keep you attracted. Okay. And then you got certain presenters that give conspiracy theory as fact, even though many conspiracy theories are coming true.
Mhm.
Okay. A while ago, I did a speech on the Epstein files and the damage that it has done to everybody, and the damage, the continuing damage it's going to do, not just because of the files aren't released, it's what's in them. What's truly in them. It's a dark world in those files. Truly dark world. Some people can hear it, some people can't, some can handle it, some can't. The dark underbelly of the reality of how our world functions and has functioned for many centuries, that dark underbelly has been run by the oligarchs for a very long time.
Mhm.
And now it's being exposed. And all these other things are being exposed. Okay? It's revelations without a religious terminology behind it. It is a revealing. What do you do with it? People are obsessing over it, losing their minds over it.
I think people had an inkling of how evil people who are billionaires were,
Yeah,
but it was something that was um, on the periphery of the mind. It was something that,
yeah.
okay, I suspect it, but you know,
It was a conspiracy that
it
everyone
was a
laughed at.
conspiracy, you know,
Yeah,
it couldn't have been that bad, right? And then these documents came out. You're literally putting children in dog collars and walking them around your house? Seriously?
yeah,
You have to have a special level of dysfunction. So I asked a lot of people like in the spiritual community, now that all of this has come out, because Andrew, you and I have been speaking about this for years, huh?
yeah, years.
Now that
Took a
all of
lot
this
of
has come out, and this is no longer a matter of conspiracy, it's in your face right now. It's worse than it's worse than the Catholic Church
Yeah.
scandals.
Yeah.
It's 10 times worse than the Catholic Church scandals. Now that it's in your face right now, what is the story? What are we going to do here?
Mhm.
What are we
And
going to
then the news media about Iran right now, Benjamin Netanyahu has gone full biblical prophecy, end times. The Savior is coming, not the Christ Savior. And Iran is saying they're in their biblical times, both trying to force their religious prophecy out. He went full religious prophecy on it in an open meeting, in an open interview. Yeah, he's not dead. All those people was thinking he was dead. No, he was just hiding because they were trying to assassinate him. Okay?
Hmm.
He has fully activated the extreme religious right in his communities. And so has the Iranian extremist Islamic extremists. Both forcefully trying to fulfill their prophecy. And we're all stuck in it. And it's going to play out. Some time ago, I said, once this war in Iran started, it is going to set us on a path we cannot stop. And it's meant for the muggles, the people who have never really been aware. It's meant for those people that are stuck in those paradigms that this has to play out. This is solidified in a timeline. I call it a fuse. Once the fuse is lit, it goes, it explodes, then it ends, and it's not end times. The world continues, just like I said in the speech. Every generation in history have said it's their end times. Every generation has said it. Okay? In the year 666, everyone thought the devil was coming back. Every year, the Antichrist is coming back. Every year, some religious prophecy is coming true. The Fatima secrets. We've got a new pope, don't we? He was supposed to be the last pope. Okay? Break the prophecy's hold over you, but you still have to look at it. We are going to be bombarded by religious prophecy for the next several months. And they're going to do whatever they can do to get it to have a hold over you. What will you do to simply say, no, that's not my paradigm? There will not be a person who will lord over me and save everyone. We are our individual saviors. Take the dogma and the bias out. Every religion has good in it. Even the Islamists, the Christians, the Catholics, they all have wonder and good in them. It is the bias, the dogmas, and the political people that run those organizations that are at the rot. So, David, a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago, I told you about how the Templars rejoined the Catholic Church. Yeah. April last year, the Templars were officially welcomed back into the Catholic Church.
Where are we streaming to? We're streaming to Twitch. We're streaming where else?
YouTube, Rumble, and X.
Okay, good. I'm gonna say something. You Templars are bitches. And I'll tell you why. Either you don't know your own history, or you are not the Templar organization that you used to be. When it is that y'all were sent into obscurity, a lot of you were executed back in the day. I'm going to give you a little bit of a history lesson here. Y'all ran to the secret societies to hide you guys. That's how y'all became a secret society. Y'all were Catholics before. The Catholic Church opens its arms to y'all because they need mercenaries, and then, well, they need some kind of mercenaries. You think this is symbolic? This is not a forgiveness of you or forgiveness of them.
No. It's to amplify the religious war that I just talked about.
So the Templars have returned to the church. Not all of them, though, because, come on, those who read their history will know that that is nonsense. For those of you who are not understanding what I'm saying, I'm going to give you a little bit of a history lesson. Back in the day, the Catholic Church wanted to go to the Holy Land, Jerusalem. You know, it's kind of abroad. If you're in Europe, you need to go to Europe. Small problem. There's a bunch of Muslims that I would kill you at a drop of a hat. Okay? So the people who wanted to make pilgrimages there were subject to being, highwaymen and whatever else. Okay? So they created a military force called the Knights Templar. Let me tell you something about the Knights Templar, okay? Most of these guys weren't allowed to even hug their mothers. They wanted to take all the weakness out of them. Knights Templars were dangerous people.
They were the original super soldiers.
They were dangerous people. No sex, don't hug your mother, and so on. Tends to make people, a little bit, homicidal. This tends to make people a little bit homicidal. You can't even hug your own mother. And especially if you're in uniform, nobody could touch you once you have that red cross on your chest. They send them to the Holy Land and they caused so much death out there, right? When they got into the Holy Land, they can relax. So they set up their little headquarters. They were protection agents and they started making their own, money on their own time. They were becoming too powerful for the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church disowned them. When the Catholic Church disowned them, what happened was that the King of France and a few other people decided to execute them and break their power. They were literally thrown out of the church, and guess what happened? A lot of them were executed. A lot of them were on the run. They ran. They were hidden. Most of them were hidden. They were hidden by people who respected what they did. Okay, there were secret societies in existence at that time. They were hidden. Some of them were hidden by Persian or Zoroastrian secret societies. The same people that they were trying to kill, the descendants, they hid them. Then they decided to make their own little secret society. So the secret society Templars that you see today are not connected to the people from way back when. This is not a direct lineage by any means. So all this is happening right now is just a symbolic thing to get the minds of the weak-minded people, right? Because forgiveness is one thing, but it's the Catholic Church that needs the forgiveness. It's not the Templars. What do you mean you accepted the Templars back into the church? You're the one who caused their distress. Anyway, the end result is that the Templars are now going back to the Catholic Church, and it's all symbolic. But their history is paid mercenaries. That's who they were. That's who they were. So I am wondering, and I promised to not speak about this too much. I am wondering, what is the play here? So the Catholic Church wants a resurgence. They want a resurgence of something that resembles power. The Catholic Church has financial power, but it doesn't have military power. Power is defined a lot of the times of what you are able to do. So a lot of these Knights Templars, they did very well for themselves in life. So I'm wondering, Andrew, whether it's a financial issue. Because it couldn't be that they're starting a military arm. It couldn't be that again.
It is, David. It is. They need the Knights Templar to organize all the other knightly groups, Knights of Columbus, etc., and they need to mine from them the new super soldiers for the religious battle, which is the Armageddon that they're trying to force right now. They need their mercenaries back, the roots of them, and they need their secret society infrastructure to train them in hiding.
Well,
I bring this up for a reason. Over the next several months, this is going to be shoved down your throat. Learn to reject it. Learn to reject it, but still learn from it.
That is a hell of a long shot, right? Because there's no more faith left in a lot of people. And I'll tell you why I think that's a bit, well, I suppose millennials do have some faith left. I shouldn't say that, right? But I could tell you that Gen Z doesn't care about nothing. Because in order to have that level of faith, you would need a level of discipline and dedication. And telling, you know what, let me put it to you this way. A lot of you guys have kids, like 13, 14, 15-year-old kids. Go to your kids and say, hi, we have an organization for you to join. It requires complete dedication. You will no longer be able to hug me or anything like that. We will put you in a bright red cross, and we're going to probably send you overseas to go kill some people. They're not having that. Oh,
No.
you might have to also train every day and wake up every day and have limited rations. And, the life will be hard. Just like in the old days, they're not having that. I wonder what the long shot is there. But, we're living in today's world. So you don't actually have to have super soldiers. You could just have drones instead.
See, David, I think there's a little bit of misinterpretation. It is the oligarchs that run the Catholic Church in Rome that need these soldiers.
Correct.
Okay? It's not about putting a standing army together. It's putting a secret army they can implement and put into action in whatever religious community they're trying to maintain control over, as they try to force prophecy. I just talked about how Benjamin Netanyahu is. The inner circles in the Catholic Church, the black pope, not the white pope, the Jesuit pope, they are forcing biblical prophecy now, and they need their enforcers in all of their religious communities to make that happen.
Man, I don't know. If I live to be 100, I will never understand.
But just like in my speech, this darkness will have a light at the end of the tunnel. But you have to hold your lantern up bright. Okay? The reason I continue to bring this stuff up regularly is to prepare you to be a lantern holder for yourself, to not get caught in the darkness of religious indoctrination into the Armageddon and end times. As I said, every generation has thought it was their end time. Every single generation for thousands of years has thought it was the end of their world for their generation. There's always been sects and communities that are putting it forward. What was it in the 1880s? The big preacher said it was the end of the world, give away everything. And millions of settlers all over America gave away everything. And then the day came and there was no rapture. Okay? And all these people had to pick themselves up. They literally gave away all their worldly goods because they thought the rapture was coming. And it didn't happen. And millions of these people literally had to pick themselves up, find themselves starving because they had no food, no water, no nothing. Okay? In today's world, it is your mind that will be stripped until you are but pliable Play-Doh for their willpower.
Wow.
Okay? At the core, each religion is good. It is the political organizations that run them that's the rotten cancer.
Ain't that the truth?
Mm.
Amen.
Yeah.
Okay? So what's the light here? How do we shift this energy from a really dark, harsh truth, from Epstein files to Mind Valley, the collapse in trust? How do we rebuild this? Part of my speech was about that. Join communities, demand transparency. Okay? All those are ways for you to start recapturing and reclaiming your strength over the system to influence you in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I think it's community in a different way, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. New communities, new lights, new wisdoms, sharing healing wisdom, allowing people to grow at their own rate, not forcing growth upon them.
Yeah.
Everybody in their own time, in their own right, in their own way. Every one of us has to help nurture the other person go through their journey, be it dark night of the soul or the great advancement into high wisdom. We cannot force our will onto others.
Yep.
We can just hold the lantern up high.
Yeah.
Okay? Be way showers. Help people find their path. Give them the blueprint to self-change and let them make the mistakes as they go. And if they ask for help and they ask for wisdom, you give it to them honest and raw. What I went through to get through this. What I had to go through my own individual journey. I can only give you the wisdom that I've learned. Right, everybody, we've come to the end of the show. I want to encourage people to go to my website, andrewbartzis.com, and sign up for Stairway to Self-Mastery. And for those of you that are wanting to get on the journey and learn about AI, our creator series that is on March the 31st will begin. Come and join us. All right, Amy and David, last words. Anything you guys like to plug?
No, but thank you so much for having me on. And I would say sign up to Andrew's class this Saturday. You still got time.
Well, no, Andrew, you guys can find me on Universal Citizen Media. But other than that, guys, as I'm going to echo Amy, Andrew's classes are probably one of the better classes that are out there. Honestly speaking, this is the best way that you guys can access some kind of connection to a community that actually has your best interest at heart.
Yeah. And we have fun.
So, if you guys are paying some ridiculous fee for some teachings and it's drip fed to you, guys, it's not good.
Nope.
It's not good.
Yep.
Right? Choose community over that.
Yes.
Choose community over throwing money at things.
Yep.
Okay? That's what I have to say, Andrew. Back to you.
Choose community. All right, everyone, we will be back tomorrow for the Friday Night Loosh Report. And I will have a special speech on mass formation psychosis, psychological operations, and the narrative information system. All right, Joel, take us